Hello everybody and welcome back to our Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to take a look at Terre Haute agriculture. But before that, this video is brought to you by Doughboy2913 and Coulier Farms. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Terre Haute agriculture map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now, this map does not have any required mods, and therefore we're looking at a total download size of 345 megabytes. Let me read you some of the description. Welcome to Terre Haute Agricultural Farm. This is a fictional map where you can do farming, forestry, and animal husbandry, which is beautiful, and the fields are very large. This map is mainly based on big agriculture. Accordingly, agriculture areas and their location have been determined. Initially, you can explore the map with the owner of a farm and livestock farm, as well as 2 agricultural plots. On this map, you're going to find 8 fields, a biogas plant, a forest, and several productions. With all that said, let's jump back over here to the map itself and take a look at the PDA. As the description said, with just 8 plots of fields, you're going to have some pretty big fields, and the largest of those is going to be field 4 at 285 acres, or just under $5.8 million to buy. Other big fields are going to include field 5 at 183 acres and $3.7 million, and field 6 at 207 acres at $4.2 million. Now, with respect to your farmland that you own at the start, you start out by owning farmland ID 1, which is going to include the main starting farm, for $1.17 million. And since the farm, buildings, and the equipment is here, regardless if you own the farm or not, I really suggest starting by owning the farm. That'll give you a good head start with respect to owning land. Now, we also have access to farmland ID 3, which includes technically 2 fields, I believe, and that's going to be $428,000 to buy. So land on this map is going to be pretty expensive. Now, with respect to our crops, we do have all of our standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25, as well as, if we have Highlands Fishing activated, our onions. With respect to the precision farming soil map, this map is making use of the U.S. generic soil map, or otherwise known as the Riverbend Springs soil map. So let's go ahead and see how it is applied to these fields. Since this map is predominantly agriculture, other than a little bit here in the northwest and the extreme southern portion of the map, we see a very, very clear picture of the Riverbend Springs bend in the river, and all of that is going to be loamy sand. As a result, a good hunk of field 1 is going to be loamy sand, and field 3 is going to be a nice mix of loam, sandy loam, and silty clay. Now, we are looking at the standard FS25 crop counter on this map, and we do start out with 25 cows in our cow barn at farmland ID 1. Now, with respect to contracts, since this map only has 8 fields, we can expect contracts to be kind of few and far between. In fact, in my several times of loading this map up before recording this video, this is one of the few times that I actually saw more than 1 contract pop at the start. With respect to productions, we have 11 productions, as I said earlier, on the map, including a bakery, biogas plant, canning factory, carpentry, cement factory, cooper, grain and oil mill. We have a rope maker, sawmill, and the tailor. We do not own any of our productions at the start. I counted up 8 different sell points scattered around the map, so we should have a pretty good variety of economy with respect to selling prices for not only our crops, but also our productions. We do start out, as I mentioned earlier, with our starting vehicles in all modes, should we choose to own the farm or not. And this map does not have any collectibles. Now, with respect to our starting equipment, we start out with the Massey Ferguson 7S210, John Deere 6R185, the Case IH Puma 260 CVX drive, and the Fiat 18090 DT medium tractors. We also have access to the Q7M front loader arms and the universal bucket. We have the Brantner DD 24073 2XXL grain trailer. We also have the Finer 6SL cultivator, and the Servo T 6000 plow. For our seeding, we have the Potager AgroSim VT 5000DD, and for our planting needs, we have the Maxima 3 Till. Fertilizing is going to be taken care of with the Amazon ZA TS 3200. We're going to be able to spread slurry with the Super Cease 800, and our manure spreading is going to be with the DST 16. For our liquid herbicide and liquid fertilizer, we're going to use our sprayer in the Mega 1200L from Hardy. Our harvesting is going to be done with the New Holland CH 7.70 with a 28-foot grain header. We can collect our forage with the Pottinger Faro 4010D forage wagon, and then we also have the ability to do square bales with the SB 1290 ID. With respect to custom vehicles and implements, this map does not have any. Now, as far as our starting farm goes, it's an interesting mix of custom buildings and buildings that we know from Riverbend Springs. As a result, most of the Riverbend Springs buildings, including our farmhouse, are not going to be sellable. They're going to be permanently a part of this map. So we have our sleep trigger and this shed here, which is again going to be permanently a part of the map. The fence around the farm, as well as our entry gate, again, part of the map. The small farmer's kiosk sell point right outside the main gate. These two sheds, again, part of the main map, as well as our big red barn. We will be able to sell the water tower. We have our machine shed here. And then we move on to some custom aspects. In these buildings, they can be sold. We've got a very, very large machine shed. Most of our machinery is going to be stored inside of here. Then we're going to have slurry storage, our manure pit. We have a drive-through silage bunker directly in front of our cow building. Then we're going to be able to provide our food here, as well as straw. And while we have 25 cows, we're going to be able to provide a total of 99 in this facility. Now, if we make our way back kind of toward the main farmhouse, there's a few other aspects to this starting farm, like our farm silo. That's going to be just on the other side of this shed. So we have our dump and fill point right there. We have a small deco silo that we can actually sell. That's going to be located here by this solar-powered light. We have our bees. They're going to be permanently a part of the map. Our honey spawn point. And then we've got a small shed constructible. In order to build out this shed, we're going to need to provide 2,000 wooden beams, 5,000 long planks, 1,000 planks, and 2,000 units worth of cement. And that's pretty much the main starting farm. So for the most part, the objects to the right of center are going to be permanently a part of the map. Objects to the left of center are going to be able to be sold. The rest of this map, for the most part, is going to be agricultural fields. Let's quickly make our way up here to the northwest. This is where we're going to find the sawmill, as well as our animal dealership. So our sawmill is located here. And then our animal dealership is located right here. So we have our animal buy point. We have our bale sell point for our forage and such. We're going to be able to purchase manure and purchase slurry. Then the rest of the map, as far as sell points and productions, is going to be found down here in the south. Now, with respect to performance on low-end systems, as one would expect, this map performs extremely well on low-end systems. I was seeing frame rates anywhere between 80 and 100 plus, using my custom medium settings, which includes FSR frame gen. Now, down here in the southeast corner of the map, we're We're going to find Grain Barge Terminal 1 as far as a grain sell point. We also then have a lime buy point located here. And then also we have a fuel point. Just down from that, we have our vehicle shop. Let's go ahead and pick something up. So a very large area for our vehicles and machinery to spawn. We have our dealer trigger. And then just down from our vehicle dealership, we have another grain barge terminal in Barge Terminal 2. And just down from that, we have the farmer's market with another lime buy silo there around the back. We have our oil mill. We have our carpentry. We have our warehouse where, of course, we can buy palletized goods and sell goods. So we have our sell point there. We have a buy point for palletized goods there at the door. Further to the east on the map, we have then our Tailor. We have the biogas plant. Large 3-sided bunkers. We have our 2 digesters. To our left, we're going to have our dump point for our slurry. To our right, we're going to have our fill point for digestate. We have our bakery right across the street from the BGA. And then we have our canning factory. Again, with another lime buy silo. Here we have our grain mill. Across the street from that, we have our rope factory. We have a dairy sell point located here around the back. We have our cement factory, our cooper, and then another lime buy point. And then we have the grain river silo right here around the back. And that is going to be basically the gist of this map. Like I said, the main aspects of the map are going to be here to the south and to the northwest corner. And then the rest of the map is pretty much exclusively agriculture. The map is fairly flat, but I wouldn't call it flat as a board. There did seem to be some subtle rolling of the land. But to that end, you shouldn't have any issue whatsoever with respect to running your machinery on this map, maybe with slightly underpowered vehicles. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to Terre Haute agriculture. And until next time, happy farming.